Hi guys, Andy N, Spoken Label, back in the house now. Do something a bit unusual today because I've got a podcast actually recorded a few days ago with this gentleman I'm chatting to today. But it came up on the post of the chat last week with him that I'm speaking to about wrestling. And I love medical wrestling. So I thought to myself, we'll do another podcast with him. And this will actually get released before his main podcast gets released in a few weeks' time. So it might be easier. Dray, do you want to give everybody a quick overview of who you are? And then we'll get talking about our love and hate of American wrestling.
Hello and good day or evening, afternoon, whatever time of day you're listening to this podcast. My name is Dray Zera, and as well as someone that loves performing of poetry, someone that's written some music, I am also an avid wrestling fan.
Yeah, the same here. Now, when did you get into your wrestling originally then?
So, I grew up as a kid from the Attitude Era. And so, one of my earliest exposures to wrestling, if we're talking about vivid memory, was during the Monday Night Wars when you had wrestlers such as Sting, Goldberg, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the NWO, you've had all them lot in WCW, and then you had a young Triple H, Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Mankind, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, all them lot in WWE. And I have very, very faint memories of wrestlers such as a prime Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, etc. But the Attitude Era is when I grew up with wrestling.
Well, in my case, it was actually, this is so old I am. I grew up watching World of Sport, the old one on IT, old ITV one.
Oh, yes. I know.
Yeah.
Who am I talking about? What? There are some wrestlers that I know from that era.
Big Daddy was the one, and Giant Haystacks.
Giant Haystacks, they're the one. Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy. Random fact for you: I think it was Giant Haystacks that wrestled very briefly for WCW in the 90s.
He did. He was called Loch Ness. It was a massive bloke. Yeah, not bad, mate. Now, I actually went to... Sorry, mate, go on. I went to watch a live show of it at Preston Guild Hall when I was 11 with my dad. And I always remember this. One of the villains came out. I've forgotten who it was now. I think it was Rollerball Rocco, Mark Rocco. And a little old lady. It shows you how times change on it. Waited until he came down the stage and she started hitting him with a handbag. And she broke his nose. Because she turns out she hated him that much in TV. She'd gone into the venue. They hadn't searched the bag. She had a brick in her bag. And started laying into with his bag, a little handbag with a brick in her bag. You won't get away with that nowadays. But you couldn't wrestle.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're still rocking all about individual with the brick, let us know why you did this. Why did you do it? Was it worth it in the end?
Exactly. It was in today night, that one it was. I'm 48 now, so that's 37 years ago. The old lady must have been in her 70s then. She's still alive now. She's been 110.
37 years ago is 1983.
Yeah, exactly. I was 11, so long time ago, mate. Anyway, I've been into it then, and I started watching WWE. Oh, yikes, my case, 87, I think it was. So,
but that was just around the time when, what was it? Was that just around when Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he won the first Royal Rumble back in the late 80s?
I think it was, yeah.
Yes.
Vague rings a bell with me. Like I said, I know, but I was well into it right into then, till right up after the Monday Night Wars. Like usually grew up watching, and they were great days. They were, because you just could seem to lose something, didn't it? When after WCW went out of business, really for me, it did.
See, here's an interesting tidbit in terms of the Monday Night Wars and the golden era of wrestling per se. The Attitude Era is by far the most popular era of wrestling if we're talking about the mainstream. So, for example, if I were a kid, or when you were a slightly younger kid than you are now, if you had an Austin 316, shirt, they know, if that makes sense. But the interesting thing is, in regards to those days and these days is this. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about this a bit later on. So the wrestling talent in terms of athleticism, what they can do in the ring, and the wrestling style today, wrestlers are some of the greatest wrestlers in history. However, due to booking decisions and the hierarchy in terms of how you book and create characters and develop characters, this is some of the weakest era if we're talking specifically WWE, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely, because I lost interest in WWE. Oh, yikes! Probably about 10 years ago now, at least.
That was around like late noughties, early tens. I feel I lost my interest around the 06, 07 era, but then I came back like quite a few years later, around 2009, 2010 kind of time. I think I kind of lost interest, and I think we'll talk about this a bit later as well, in regards to when around 2007, Chris Benoit did what he did, and that kind of put a real sour note.
Yeah, it put me off a lot of ways as well. I was a bit up and down of wrestling of what happened to Eddie Guerrero in the first place. Two years before that, because he was such an interesting character and man. We even talked interviews and stuff. It was just terrible what happened to him, but he was possibly to a degree just crazy. But Benoit, there's somewhat. I've always been a bit ill at ease on whatever happened to that night at this family.
See, this is my opinion on it. So I've watched this recent documentary that came out called The Dark Side of the Ring. So
I've got that to watch. Got that to watch. Yeah.
So without going to too much spoiler town, I don't want to ruin it for you. Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, they were the best of friends. Absolutely, they were like brothers. And I feel that when Eddie Guerrero passed away due to the substances that he'd taken, it really affected Benoit. And also adding to the fact, and this is something that WWE, if we're talking about even today, while they've made strides in the well-being of wrestlers, it shows you what happened with Benoit is, while I am not excusing what he did was absolutely terrible, but it shows you the amount of headshots he had and the amount of concussions he occurred. It affected him so badly, of which, if WWE would have had a far more better medical team, I'm not saying this could have been prevented, but there would have been a chance of maybe Benoit not doing what he did and having better help in regards to his mental health and well-being.
Yeah, no, completely correct. And that's why I think you find nowadays, don't you, where you hear talk like all the AEW, when you had Sean Spears, obviously cracking Cody Rhodes with a couple of stiff fucking chair shots. It took a lot of criticism over that they did. That's why you don't hear that sort of thing happening. And quite a few moves got banned because of those days later, didn't they? So, to a degree,
the pole driver is a good example as well, because the pole driver, I feel that I think the pole driver, I'm not sure of 100%, but I think it was Owen Hart versus Steve Austin in '96, I believe, when Austin took a pole driver and it really damaged his neck, and I think WWE banned the main pole driver move since then. Yeah,
I think they played it to a story to a degree, but it definitely was damaged. So I can remember Owen Hart having a T-shirt for some time afterwards saying, "I just broke your neck." That's why. It was obviously part of the gag, but it probably finished off Austin's career earlier than it probably should have done, really, because of the neck injuries he had.
I feel that in terms of his career, I think you're right, but I feel that in terms of Austin's ring style and his popularity, I think while his popularity is still there, I felt that if he carried on wrestling, we would have a situation such as washed up Undertaker, washed up Kane, washed up Triple H. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? Undertaker debuted when I was 7, 8 months old, when Undertaker debuted in Survivor Series 1990. Brother Love introduced him, right? And who is for all those that don't know, he's Bruce Pritchard, who is part of the booking team for WWE in the 90s and in recent years. But in any case, Undertaker was wrestling as a youthful, tall son of a gun, and he's still going on in 2020. Like, Undertaker, you're probably not watching this podcast, right? But let me tell you this right now. I'm telling you, I've tweeted you, please retire. Your well-being is not worth it, man. It's not worth it, okay? There are some far better talented wrestlers of your kind of build who are much younger, such as Lance Archer, Wardlow, Braun Strowman, etc. Please retire for the love of lasagna, please.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you completely on that, mate. He's what is he? 50, you bear in mind, before he got going with WWE, he was Mean Mark, wasn't he, in WCW for a while? He used to do the
Mean Mark Calloway. I have it up right here. Undertaker is 55 years old.
Friggin' hell, he's way too old for that now. He is. That's why.
I mean, it depends. It depends. The thing is, how he's had the wear and tear. Yes. Put things in perspective. Chris Jericho is only 40. I'm pretty sure Chris Jericho is only 49. He's only a few years younger. But the difference is with Chris Jericho and Undertaker is that Chris Jericho is in far better ring shape. Chris Jericho also wrestles. He has adapted his style for him no longer being a high flyer type of wrestler, but more of a brawler kind of style wrestler. So, and he doesn't, and even though and Jericho wrestles more frequently than Undertaker.
Yeah, you do. It's crazy. You also get the case where you're looking at Dustin Rhodes, don't you? Former Goldust. Now he's even closer to Undertaker's age. He's 51, and he just did a 20-minute match, didn't he, with Lance Archer for AEW recently?
Yeah, he did. Yes, literally on recording, it was literally on the last episode of AEW where the match went 21 minutes, I believe, against Lance Archer. It was incredible. The match was very good, and yeah, Dustin Rhodes, he still got it. But I feel that for him, I think he knows that his time is winding down, because I think I fully respect Dustin Rhodes by still wrestling, in the fact that if he wants to go out on a high rather than being whimpered out by how WWE has treated him over the year and the mismanagement of his gimmick, I feel that, it's fine, especially since he's not in a prominent position. Here's the thing. He's not in a prominent position because Dustin Rhodes, he's not going to really win any major title, is he? And he's not going to be he's not going to be right up the main event card instead of the Undertaker. You know what I mean? So I think he's absolutely fine. And also there is another wrestler, Minoru Suzuki. He's into his 50s now. If you know Minoru Suzuki, he is an absolute machine. He is an absolute athlete, and he is in his 50s, but his wrestling style, his athleticism is absolutely incredible. And any young aspiring wrestlers or any talent that everyone knows Suzuki. He's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Now I was going to ask you then, when did you first start watching AEW last year? Were you there straight from the beginning of it, were you?
So, in the January announcement on New Year's Day, when they announced in Florida, I think it was in Florida. It was either Florida or California. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure
it's Florida,
It was pretty sure they announced it in Florida because that's where the Khan family's from. So when they announced, I was like, yeah, AEW, yes! Because for me, I was really excited. You have the Young Bucks who had such a storied career all across Ring of Honor, New Japan, etc. You finally have Kenny Omega in a North American promotion in a very prominent position. You've got so many tag teams. You've even got Pentagon Jr., the Lucha Brothers.
Unbelievable, those two are they? I hadn't heard of them before, don't you? But the work rate's astonishing, those two.
I mean, well, I've met Pentagon Jr. in person.
Wow!
He wrestled. So he wrestled on a bill. I don't know if we're going to be on video, but you can see very faint in the background this post. Oh shoot! The camera moved. The camera moved because I realised I've got a headset connected. So I'll show you quickly. So see here, this poster here. Very faintly, you might see you might see Pentagon Jr. right there, right up there. So Pentagon Jr. I've met. So yeah, in that event alone, this was in Colchester in Essex. So Pentagon Jr. was there. Kota Ibushi was there. It was an amazing event. Another wrestler called Gota Ihashi. He's a good wrestler. He's not that well known, but he's quite good. Trent Seven was in that event as well. Sami Callihan was in that event. Very top end event. It's the people that run it are the same people that run Pro Wrestling E, one of the biggest women's only promotions in the indie scene right now.
Brilliant. No, so yeah, you were straight there from the beginning. I know what drew me in was I heard Chris Jericho's name come up because I'd seen Kenny Omega fight before. I knew Kenny Omega was a class act. And I always thought Cody was completely mismanaged at WWE, as been proven here. I was vaguely aware of the Young Bucks, didn't really know them that well, but as soon as they got them locked together, I thought I'm gonna have to watch them. And I've watched all the pay-per-views so far, and I've watched every one of the house, well, most of the house shows as well. So like Dynamite, it's been a really, really exciting journey so far.
I mean, what did you think of Double or Nothing? Because Double or Nothing was their first event in May last year.
I was excited as heck when Moxley came for the crowd at the end.
Yes, right at the end when Jericho won, and then Moxley came out, and JR went, "It's John Moxley! It's John Moxley!" When he came over, it was absolutely incredible. You saw the crowds back in the days when we were loud crowds. Yeah. It was absolutely mad.
The crowd were going berserk. It was brilliant because I hadn't seen a crowd like that since ECW days. They were so up for it. It was brilliant.
Exactly, and that's one of the greatest things about AEW, because AEW to me is not only a promotion that showcases the art of wrestling, but to be perfectly honest, it also gives fans. Are we allowed to swear here?
Go for it. I'll put a warning at the top of it.
Okay. There is... AEW gives you no bullshit. They give you absolutely no rubbish, no palaver, storylines that make sense, wrestlers that are being built up. I mean, here's an example for you. If Orange Cassidy was in WWE, would he be as over as he is now in AEW?
No.
Absolutely
no
not.
fucking
Absolutely
chance,
not.
right? And he's... What gets me is, I've seen Drive, the film his character's clearly based on, and it's such a direct rip, but it's absolutely bloody hilarious. And I just love the fact he winds up. Have you heard some of the comments Jim Cornette's come out about him?
Oh yeah, he's
absolutely hates him.
Yeah.
That's why he's just a star.
Yeah, absolutely. And Orange Cassidy, here's a random fact for you. On the AEWshop.com, he's been one of the fastest sellers in t-shirts, Orange Cassidy.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like he's only wrestled twice for them, hasn't he? And
yes, he has. Has he? Yes, I believe he. In terms of singles matches, yes, he's only wrestled twice. Once against Park, and one recently against somebody who I've also met as well, Jimmy Havoc. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, it shows you like they've succeeded really, and this is what they've done really, really good job on for me. This is as a general talk for wrestling fans. Is like Raw and SmackDown are very stale shows to me. I don't get time to watch NXT, and I presume you do you?
Here's the thing for me, because of, well, I wouldn't say it's about a timing issue. It's more along the lines of the fact that, for me, the whole way that the roster is developed, in the sense that if you get called up from NXT 9 out of 10 times, your career is over. So for me, I think to myself, what's the point of me investing in all these NXT talents if they're going to just go through the shitter with the main roster booking team and the palaver by Vince & Co. So I do keep an eye on the WWE product, but I don't actively watch really the WWE product.
Yeah, same for me.
But I know what's happening, yeah.
Same for me as well. And that's why I get enough pleasure out of just watching it, as I said, AEW every week. So there's particularly, I know it's gone a bit different on it, because obviously we're in the coronavirus era, and they're having to do shows behind doors, and I respect AEW what they've done with that, really. So what they've done is they've obviously got wrestlers around the side of the stage chanting, haven't they, and stuff. And I think it covers it to a degree. But like when I've tried watching bits of any of the WWE ones, I've really struggled with it. It just hasn't felt the same, has it?
No, it hasn't. And plus also also for me, I feel that AEW has been very clever in the sense that they've literally batched all their pre-taping all the episodes right until now. But I feel that I heard that this Wednesday coming up so if this comes out before Wednesday this week, it should be apparently they're going to go live and it's going to be live in Florida. So for me, that's going to be interesting because what they're doing is they are literally, it's going to be empty arena, but they're going to just have it live in Florida. But the thing is that what they've done is that they're only going through the loophole of WWE due to, I don't know if you know too much about the whole loophole with Florida county state. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have. And that was the one where they had WWE only allowed to do a certain amount of pre-taped shows a year, aren't they?
They've their stance has changed with the whole Fox and all that. So Fox and I think it was Fox and NBC, whoever the companies that affiliate with the broadcasting deals in the States, they have relaxed it. So they've now done a mixture of pre-taping and live. But what I was referring to is that the Orange County mayor, he he initially said, "Oh no, WWE is not essential business." However, Vince's wife, Linda McMahon, works in the cabinet for Donald Trump. So one thing led to another, and suddenly a few days later, the Florida county mayor, the same guy, went, "Well, WWE is deemed essential business, so we can't shut them down." So what's happened is that, well, AEW went, "Well, you know what? We're going to go live too if you're going to let them go live." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? The other bit of news that I read the other day about the wrestling was, and first of all, I'm not sure whether they should be running sort of shows anyway, the way society is at the minute. But did you hear talk about they want to try and get crowds back in there to watch them on a reduced number?
Yeah, I think I've heard about that, and I think that Florida is doing the complete opposite of California, where Florida, they're one of the first states that want to bring back crowd numbers. But I feel that to me, regardless of your opinion on the corona, I feel that this could be a bit ill-judged because here's the thing. If you open a can of worms from one state, what are the other states going to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. It does ask a lot of questions at the moment. It's really, really a funny situation at the moment with wrestling. That's why. But it's certainly look at AEW. They're only been operating, haven't they? And what, 50% staff is it? You look at it.
Yeah.
Because they have quite a few people, haven't they, that have been on lockdown. Their lockdowns have been in America. Look at Adam. You haven't seen Adam Page in there for over a month now, for example.
Yep, we haven't seen Adam Page. We have it. The Young Bucks are in California. Lucha Brothers are not around. SCU, they're based in California. Haven't seen them much. Yeah, so they're working with the reduced roster, but they're making it work. They're making it work, and I think that it's pretty impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, it is really, and that they've managed to get some really good fights out of it. Like I love the John Moxley one against obviously like Hager, basically from the other week.
That was cleverly done because what they did was that they had JR on commentary, but it's obvious that JR wasn't even in the building, so they just have him like dub the audio over, which was kind of cool. And I felt that the match was good. I think that if it had an arena full of people, it would have been much better. I think that if I'm being ultra critical, they could have shaved 5 minutes off of it. But the match was overall, it was quite good, and it's been quite impressive, really. I have a question for you. So here's my question is to you: is that what is your opinion on how WWE? And I mentioned this in the Dray Zera Uncensored podcast. I'm going to ask you this question. So with WWE being by far the richest wrestling sports entertainment company in the entire world, they are the only wrestling-based company that have either sacked or furloughed staff, and they have 500 million cash reserves. What are your thoughts with this, with them cutting so much staff and talent? What's your thoughts with that?
It's very similar to, you look at some of the companies over here, like Victoria Beckham's company. She wanted to furlough her full staff, and she's worth almost as much money as that, which I don't think owners, when they're that rich, should be allowed to do that, to be honest with you. Really, straight away. There's been no sign of AEW doing it, have they?
AEW have not done that. They're paying all their staff. Ring of Honor, they're even less money than AEW. They're paying all their staff. New Japan, they're paying all their staff.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something not right with WWE as a structure to me straight away, and I think it's down to the fact they've got shareholders, and I think they're panicking because there's been talk. Have you heard the talk come out yesterday, or was it today even, where they're talking about Fox are meant to be interested in buying WWE off them?
I've heard this. Now here's the interesting thing.
I think it was Dutch Mantel said it in his Twitter feed. That's why.
The thing, I heard this news. So my understanding of it is that if I keep forgetting that things are connected here. If let's say this takes place, Fox won't be the ones that WWE will be talking to, because Fox is owned by Disney. Now Disney would have to step in because it's such a big purchase. Such as the Star Wars franchise, etc. So I feel that any purchase at this time, I honestly don't see it happening, because we're in tumultuous times. Because you got to think about it. Like Disney they've had to cut funding of probably future film projects and that. And you're seeing also that in general, cinema releases have been delayed because A, no one's going to be watching in the cinema, and B, filming times and getting the grading done of the films, that's not happening. So I feel that this is a kind of a watch your space kind of scenario.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but if WWE actually sell, it could either be a blessing in disguise, or this could turn into a Ted Turner AOL situation where when WCW was sold, that was sold for peanuts, and the AOL company, they didn't want wrestling on their books anymore. Hence why Ted Turner just sold up. Yeah,
no, I agree with you completely. It raises a lot of interesting questions go around about this at the moment as well. Now, obviously in relation to WWE then, so I don't really watch it, I keep off it because I don't really enjoy it, like I said. But a mate of mine does watch it a lot, and he told me to recently watch that Triple H Appreciation Society thing that went up at the end of SmackDown.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Did you see that when they bought Vince McMahon out? How awkward it was.
I feel that Vince McMahon, a man of his age should not be in a public environment.
No.
In these kind of, or even if he's absolutely fine. From the guidelines that's been set, regardless of your opinion, it's a bit ill-advised, isn't it? But also, he seems very senile. It's kind of sad. I mean, there he is. I mean, we remembered Vince McMahon when he used to commentate with Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, it was unbelievable. He was, yeah.
He was decent back. He was decent back then. He had a very strong heel character in the 90s and the noughties, but. The thing is that, and this is what we're getting back with WWE, the thing is with WWE is, since John Cena, and I guess to a lesser extent Roman Reigns, they haven't made a megastar at all. They haven't made a megastar at all. The closest guy that they've done to make a megastar is Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan wasn't WWE born. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. So for me, this shows you that they can't make stars at all. Like, it was an absolute disgrace, not only of the locality, but having Goldberg beat Bray Wyatt in peanuts, absolute peanuts time. Like, Bray Wyatt is in his prime. Goldberg is old enough to be my dad.
Not old enough to be mine, but yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, he's old enough to know better. That's for sure, isn't it? Absolutely.
I'm actually curious how old. We're gonna double check how old he is. He must. I'm sure he's in his 50s now. Hold on.
He must be.
Goldberg's 53.
Exactly. He makes the Undertaker look young, doesn't he? Really, but yeah. It's a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake that was.
It's absolutely bad. I mean, for you, what do you honestly think about the fact that I feel that wrestlers, I'm going to give you a good example, yeah? I'm going to use Lance Archer as a good example. So, Lance Archer, way back in, I think it was 2007, 2008, he debuted for ECW. So he must have come from the FCW Florida Championship Wrestling developmental system. So anyway, he came through. He was decent. He was decent in the ring, and he was good. But he wasn't really pushed at all. Now look at him. He's a beast.
He's a beast. I remember him from Japan. I've seen bits of him in Japan.
Yes.
And what they've done is, this is what AEW is really, really good at, is they're really good at making stars out of people. Like, you look what they did with that young Darby Allin. That kid's got, he could be another Edge or something like that. He's got that similar sort of mysterious charisma.
But the thing is also, which is good with AEW, which is quite awesome, is that all these stars that have come in from indie brands or New Japan, right? Their character hasn't changed. Like, essentially, they haven't really changed at all. So, for example, Lance Archer from New Japan to AEW, he's exactly the same guy. He's the same murder hawk monster. He shouts, "Everybody dies!" And he just does that kind of stuff. So, what was your thoughts when Lance Archer did that moonsault on the rope?
Yeah,
and he is 6'8", 6'9".
Massive guy. The only difference of Lance Archer, what they've done is, and this was a very, very clever move, was bringing Jake the Snake Roberts in with him.
One of the greatest minds of the business.
Yeah, and obviously they've not been able to cement that properly because obviously the coronavirus. But we had a couple of weeks of him obviously coming in with him before things really got going. That managed to build the character up then, and he's looked a monster, absolutely a monster since he come in. Whether he beats Cody Rhodes in the final AEW this Wednesday coming or not, they've made a star of him, and I hope they do. Personally,
I think Lance will win. I think this is what my theory is. I think Lance will win, and I think eventually this will be the start of the slow turn for Cody turning heel.
Yeah, they need to turn him heel. I think you're right with that. I think it's a certain.
I think that Lance Archer would benefit so much by having the belt, and I feel that it depends how they do it. At the end of the day, it depends how they do the storylines. But I feel that Lance Archer would benefit far more in having the giant man that can go in the ring. He can defend the title whenever, and that's pretty cool. So tell me, who are your top 3 favorite wrestlers that are currently active right now? It could be from any promotion.
Oh, no, I knew that's a good one. That's a very, very good one. That they're not going to be AEW, really, to be honest with you. I do love watching Darby Allin. Darby Allin, he's got something. That kid, he really does have something. I think Jericho's doing the best work he's been doing about 20 odd years at the minute. He's been on fire, hasn't he?
I don't think anyone, the whole package of Jericho, the combination of his promo skills, charisma, and his wrestling is still fine. His wrestling is still fine for his day and age. So yeah, absolutely. So you said Darby Allin. Yeah, you said Darby Allin, Chris Jericho, and who else?
Oh, who's the third one going to be? You've got me, guys. I do like Kenny Omega, but they've not seen the best of him in AEW yet. I love what they've done with Hangman Page, mind you, and he's been their third choice. Because when they brought him in, it was a bit, for me, and I didn't know him before this, I thought he was a bit wishy-washy, a bit bland, but then they've turned him to almost like a Stone Cold sort of character. And it was almost like...
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's been amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I felt they were trying to turn him into a heel originally, And this is what, for me, and what's wrestling AEW very, very good at, is they're recognizing when they've potentially got something, and they're stopping us from turning it round almost if it gets going. And they've done that with Hangman Page, and he's been brilliant. He has to watch, and he's got him over.
That's definitely true. So here are my top 3 that's currently about. So number 3, I would go for Ray Phoenix. So the Ray Phoenix, absolutely incredible wrestler. I mean, as a single star, he's absolutely incredible. Although in AEW you haven't seen it much, you have seen bits of it. He's just an absolute incredible guy, and his wrestling skills are absolutely amazing. Number 2, I would say still to this day, if we're talking about wrestling ability and general ring psychology, I would still go for Daniel Bryan as my number 2. Even though it's been soured, I would still put him as number 2. Daniel Bryan, if you're watching, you're getting enough payroll, not just by your contract, but by the Bella Twins podcast. So, bro, get out of that place, man. Get out of that place. Come to AEW. Go to New Japan, man. You're wasted there, man.
Isn't his contract up fairly soon, isn't it? His contract's up fairly soon, isn't it, WWE?
It's been speculated, but I haven't heard too much news on that, so we might hear some news eventually. And number 1, number 1 is hard. I would say in terms of number 1, if we're talking about in my opinion, one of the current best wrestlers of this era and most other eras, I have to go with Chris Jericho. I mean, the Chris Jericho, he has basically anything he does, he turns chicken shit to chicken carrot gold. He has absolutely been, he has been tremendous, and he's been incredible.
Yeah, that they're called Brady Bunch video they're doing at the moment. You know, with all
they're kind of yes.
That's been golden. That has. I don't know if you did. Obviously, you remember it this week when they had that virtual punch up going around, didn't they?
Yeah. It's a TikTok trend. Yeah.
Brilliant that was. I've seen that sort of stunt done before, but not for a long time, and it was very, very, very clever. Do you think the amount of post production must have got done to do that? Swinging punch to punch all around the place.
Absolutely.
That's why. No, but you're right. Jericho's an absolute genius. And at the moment, I think he's been absolutely quality as a commentary in AEW. But obviously, they had to bring him in for emergency commentary, didn't they? Because they couldn't use JR. And I think Excalibur's in the at-risk zone for whatever reason. He can't get out the quarantine zone. So it's him with Taz. So they've done a really good job there to get an emergency crew together.
And think of the wealth of talent that Jericho's had. Jericho was in New Japan way before he was in WCW. He was in New Japan as what was his name? I think his name was something, because I know Pegasus was Benoit's name, but what was his name? I think it was
Lionheart.
I think it was Lionheart. Yes, that's the one. The Lionheart. Yes. Oh man, and I mean, Jericho's work has been absolutely exemplary, and 100% yes, 100% yes. So see, here's
awesome.
yes. So sorry, you go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing, mate.
Fair enough. So I was going to ask you this. So here is the thing. The thing is, which is really a damning indictment of WWE, is that WWE has the kind of, I would like to say, and this is an analogy I've just made up in my head, I think it's the whole Playboy Mansion effect. Literally get all these individuals, all these stars, and most of them are doing nothing. Even when there wasn't any quarantine or isolation period, they've literally had so many people on the back burner, like so many, Bo Dallas, Joe Hennig, so many stars that
was it 400 people they had in the books and they cracked the dividend at one point?
Yeah, they've had so many stars. If we include NXT UK And NXT, yeah. And here's another random fact for you, and this is fact. The reason why, because I won't reveal my sources, but I have some insider sources. So the reason why, and I found out about this a year before it happened. So the reason why WWE created NXT UK is to literally just kill off the competition from World of Sport, because World of Sport had the deal with ITV. Now ITV is a free service, and at the time Sky is a paid service, so they didn't want World of Sports to compete. So that's why they created NXT UK as a direct competitor. So that was mad, and unfortunately World of Sport is gone. But the saddest thing is that, like, I've met quite a few of the wrestling talent. I mean, Candy Floss. I mean, it's becoming a situation where the thing is, and this is the most unfortunate thing about NXT UK. Even though NXT UK is good, what they've done is they're killing off the indies. They're killing off the indies in the UK, because if you think about it, and here's the interesting thing, their ticket sales are dwindling for NXT UK, but I digress. If NXT UK rocks up in a random town or city and there's a local wrestling indie scene, then it's kind of like, what's the point of going to this show if WWE's here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, completely.
That's the continual hoovering of talent.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely with that. So now the big question going around is, and I've heard this talk going around as well, is in relation to NXT UK, is if this situation carries on much longer with the virus, we don't know how much longer it's going to go on for, that will WWE still run NXT UK, or will they put it on hold, possibly for good?
Man, I mean, what I've been hearing is that, so without getting too political, because although it's hard to, because, you know, this is all like such a high amount of corona is due to how politics have been applied. But what's happening in England is that even though we are, quote unquote, according to the government, past the curve, I feel that the saddest thing is that we aren't, from a health and safety standpoint, we're not really out of the woods from a psychological, emotional, and health standpoint. And America is even worse. So,
America's crazy.
So for me, I think it's ill-advised. I feel that, I think AEW, I think what they're doing, if the wrestlers that they have are about the same, and they just continue on. I'm very interested about what they're going to do. I'm feeling what they're going to do in regards to the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, because that's most likely going to be in daily space.
Yeah, it's due end of the month, isn't it, that podcast? End of May. Pay-per-view due end of May, isn't it? So, yeah, I agree with you. And the same goes to WWE, like, what they're going to do about all these pay-per-views they've got coming up. They do them monthly, don't they?
They've already cancelled. So WWE's already cancelled the Europe and UK tour. They've already cancelled the Australia New Zealand tour. Well, apparently they want to postpone it to another date that's been unannounced. It's just mad. I feel the thing is that you can't plan too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it'll be a long time. It'll be a long time before we get this back to normal. Demonstrating wrestling, so it's fascinating times at the moment. Now, I'm looking at the time at the moment, Dray, so we've got about 10 minutes left. So last thing I want to ask you about wrestling is, and this is the opinion of, where do you see AEW going in the next couple of years, ratings-wise? Do you think they will be a major threat to WWE? Because WWE's ratings are dwindling. No two ways about it.
Well, think of it this way. So AEW has got a good deal with TNT. Initially, the deal wasn't that much, but within 6 months or so, so TNT they've given them a buttload of money to invest, and with the Khan money and the Khan family being far more financial stronger than Vince McMahon in terms of value. It really depends. I would say within 5 years, I think within 1 to 5 years, AEW will not only be ahead in the overall ratings, not just in NXT, which they usually are, but also in Raw, SmackDown, etc. But I feel they could be the number one promotion if they play their cards right.
Yeah, I agree. It's a long way to go yet. They've got to build themselves up yet still. Like I said, but and certainly like, they've not got everything right with AEW straight away. Because some of the women's fights have been a bit lackluster in places, certainly. But like I said, but they're definitely getting out of it, and I'm looking forward to something to do next, basically, straight away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you see what do you think of AEW? Do you think that AEW has a very bright future, in your opinion?
Yeah, straight away. It's not perfect in all days for any stretch of thought, but certainly, and if I'm honest, I've not enjoyed it anywhere near as much as it's been done behind closed doors. But the live shows before that were exceptional. Even if the wrestling, some of the ones are better than others, the crowd seemed to really carry it. And I've been watching bits of Raw and SmackDown, and it's been flat as anything. It's been a really, really muted crowd. That's the difference.
And also, here's another thing that we haven't really touched on WWE. WWE's storylines, they get stale so much, and they get heavily elongated. I mean, why the hell is Otis and Dolph Ziggler? I mean, it's a good storyline. I think that they should have ended it in WrestleMania. But I feel that the thing is that just let it go, like move on. Like why? I think I don't mind if the storyline continues deep down, but what I'm bothered about is for them to suddenly have another match after the payoff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the mistake they're making all the time is rematches, and a lot of their feuds they go on for. I find they're going on for 2, 3, 4 months longer than they should be, basically.
Yeah,
and that's the mistake they're making. Where, like, I noticed with AEW, some of their feuds and stuff, they do seem to be much more sharply produced. That's why. Although saying that, actually, they had a semi-final between Sammy Guerrero and Darby Allin again the other week, and that was very similar to their pay-per-view. And I thought to myself, probably too similar, so they're not always going to get right. But yeah.
But the thing is, there's a difference there. The difference on when they had their matches was many months ago. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So it's still, to me, AEW is still a fresh product to me. So I would say, here's the thing for me. I think eventually, as AEW gets bigger and more popular, they should introduce a trios belt, so a 6-man belt. So the trios belt, the 6-man title was very, very popular in WWE, in NWA and all them kind of promotions back in the 80s and Stampede back in those days. And AEW has got Inner Circle, Death Triangle, they've got Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, they've got the Elite, they've got SCU, they've got the Dark Order, and they've also got the Jurassic Express. Yes, we've got Jurassic Express. That's like 7 teams that are 3 or more people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What they've got is each of these teams, you look at each of the tag teams, all the tag teams, well, the major ones we've got them out there, they're all over. That's the difference with it, and they all seem to be treated really well. But do you tell me of which tag teams in WWE they do a good job with? There's not many. I can't name many.
Absolutely.
Like it was last question I want to ask you, 2 quick questions before we finish up here. And now looking at the time.
Go ahead.
How do you think they've done with Luke Harper since he came to AEW?
So the man now known as
the exhaled one.
Yeah. So with the exalted one, Brody Lee. That's fine. They've played him very well. A kind of a sinister character, but a kind of very different character to everyone else. I feel that I'm quite looking forward to how all of the Dark Order, so with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, when they all come up together. Yeah. I'm really very intrigued about how that relationship is going to develop and envelop. I'm really looking forward to it. The most interesting thing I'm curious about is who will Brody Lee feud properly with? That's the question in everyone's mind, in my opinion, because at the moment they're building him up by squash matches, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, well, yeah, so.
Watch your space. And the other question is, the revival, now called the Revolt, are they going to AEW, in your opinion?
That's like asking, does Dray Zera wear a mask? Of course they're going to. Of course they're going to go to AEW. I mean, firstly, in the last episode of Being the Elite, there was a little airplane kind of that flew over that had the symbols FTR on it. So it was a big hint. So, and the Revival and the Young Bucks have had this Twitter war for 2-3 years now. Pardon me. So this is going to happen. This is going to be it. They are going to have a match. It's going to go banana. If they have a match with a crowd, I will be there. I don't care where it is. I will sell this shield. If we're watching this on video, this shield from Link right there, the Hyrule shield. Yeah, get rid of that. You know, absolutely. I would 100% want to watch that match. 100%.
Yeah, that'll be great fun. Right, guys, we're out of time now. So thank you today, Dray. Everybody, watch out in a couple of weeks' time for the official podcast where we're talking to Dray about his creativity.
Yes,
Dray, if people want to find out more about you, where are your 2 podcasts then? On YouTube.
Right, so every Monday at 7 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Pacific time, I post the Dray Zera Uncensored podcast with professional wrestler Jackie Hyde. So you can find my podcast there, as well as other content as well. So Dray Zera uploads every day, 6 days a week, on my main channel, on Dray Zera, on the YouTube channel, Dray Zera Fantasy, for fantasy football and football-related stuff. And on Sunday, on my Facebook, Instagram, I post a special Sunday poetry series where I just post spoken word with this kind of backdrop if you're watching on video. But also, as this goes on the air, when you're hearing this on the AOAs, please check out the Psycho Lucy Psycho Week, because it is coming out from the week commencing the 4th of May. So don't delay. Check out all the Psycho Lucy film series. It is awesome. 6 episodes of bliss that can't be missed.
Brilliant. Well, in my case, Spoken Label can be found on spokenlabel1word.bandcamp.com. You can also find me regularly on YouTube and the End Poet page. And you can find it also on Streaker and tons of other places as well. But anyway, guys, that's it for this. It's been an excellent special episode. So thank you, Dray. I will speak to you soon, okay? Take care, mate. Take care, everybody.
Thank you very much. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Take care. See you soon, mate. Bye.